At my PhD graduation, my dad's brutal text shattered my heart into 1,000 pieces. "You're on your own now, don't expect any help from us." But seconds later, my CFO's call ripped my secret life wide open in front of thousands of witnesses. The entire stadium erupted in chaos when they overheard the words that changed my life forever. I'd just become the youngest tech billionaire in history. My parents, who spent years calling me a hopeless, unrealistic dreamer, stormed over to scold me, completely blind to the devastating bombshell about to explode right in their faces. What happened next left them pale, speechless, humiliated, and desperately begging for forgiveness in front of everyone who mattered. Watch till the very end. The final twist will hit you like a tidal wave and leave you breathless. My name is Emily Vance, and this is the story I never thought I'd have the courage to tell. The stadium was a living, breathing storm of raw human emotion on graduation day. Cheers crashed through the stands like rolling thunder, camera flashes burst in relentless waves of white light, and families screamed names with voices cracked open by pride and tears. Caps sailed into the air like black birds taking flight. Everywhere I looked, there were hugs that lasted forever, parents clutching their graduates as if letting go would make the moment disappear. I should have been part of that joy. After 6 soul-crushing years of non-stop research that devoured weekends, all-night coding marathons that left my eyes bloodshot and my fingers cramped, and years of surviving on nothing but sheer stubbornness and gallons of bitter coffee, I had earned this. My PhD in artificial intelligence wasn't just a degree, it was proof that I hadn't broken, no matter how many times the world tried to bend me. But then my phone vibrated against my thigh, a small innocent buzz that felt like a gunshot in my chest. I glanced down and the screen lit up with a text from Dad. "You're on your own now, don't expect any help from us." I read it twice, 3 times, each pass carved the words deeper. My throat closed. Hot tears stung the corners of my eyes, but I blinked them away furiously. Not here. Not now, not in front of thousands of strangers. I sat rigid in my crimson cap and gown, the heavy fabric suddenly suffocating, forcing a neutral mask onto my face while everything inside me shattered. My name is Emily Vance, and I've always been the outlier in my family, the quiet overthinker, the one who lived inside her head while everyone else lived safely on the surface. Growing up in that sleepy, perfectly manicured suburb just outside San Francisco, big dreams weren't celebrated, they were warnings. My parents viewed ambition the way others view storms on the horizon, something to shelter from before it destroyed everything stable. I was the kid who skipped football games to bury myself in books about neural networks, who chose coding competitions over parties, and who found beauty in elegant algorithms while my classmates chased popularity and easy A's. To my parents, that made me reckless, dangerous, even. I'd try. God, I tried so hard to share my excitement. I'd come home buzzing from a breakthrough, words tumbling out about machine learning models that could change medicine or climate prediction, my voice shaking with passion. Dad Robert would lean back in his chair, arms crossed, and let out that familiar condescending chuckle. "Emily, you're talking like a computer again. When are you going to get a real life, a real job?" Mom Linda would reach across the table, pat my hand gently, and say in her soft, worried voice, "Sweetheart, we just want you safe. Something steady, benefits, regular hours. You can't eat passion." Every single dismissal was a paper cut at the time, small, almost forgettable, but they accumulated layer upon layer until there was a fortress wall between us. Eventually, I stopped trying to scale it. I stopped sharing. Why bare your soul when the people who are supposed to love you most keep handing you reasons not to? So I built my dreams in secret. Scholarships covered tuition, but living wasn't free. I taught labs at 7 a.m., graded problem sets until midnight, and freelanced code for startups on the side. I ate cupped ramen in one hand while typing with the other. I slept in 4-hour bursts when I slept at all. And somewhere in those stolen hours, an idea took root. A startup that could seamlessly weave advanced AI into everyday technology, making it intuitive, ethical, and revolutionary. I poured everything into it. Every doubt my parents planted became fuel. I told no one in my family. Why would I? They'd only call it another pointless fantasy, another way I'd end up broke and crawling back for help. Graduation day was supposed to be different. I scanned the sea of faces in the stands, heart stupidly hopeful, searching for them. I watched other families, mothers smoothing tassels with trembling fingers, fathers roaring names until their voices gave out, handmade signs painted in glitter and love. We always believed in you, future CEO, proud of you forever. I envied them with an ache that sat heavy in my chest. My best friend Sarah, sitting beside me in her own gown, noticed. She nudged me gently. Are you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost. I forced a smile that felt brittle. Just exhausted. Long week. But Dad's text had burrowed under my skin like poison. The timing felt deliberate, one final tough love reminder that I was still in their eyes the family failure. Surrounded by strangers celebrating their children, I clutched my phone tighter, pretending the lump in my throat wasn't growing. Then everything changed in the space of a single heartbeat. My phone vibrated again during a brief lull in the applause. I assumed it was Sarah sending a silly meme to lift my mood. But the caller ID read Michael, my CFO. My pulse spiked. He knew I was at graduation. He knew how much this day meant. He would never interrupt unless I was 2 rows from walking across the stage. Hands shaking, I slipped the phone to my ear and whispered, "Michael, I'm literally about to—" "Emily," he interrupted, his voice trembling with barely contained disbelief and exhilaration. "I'm so sorry to call right now, but this can't wait another second. The IPO launched 20 minutes ago. We priced high, aggressive, like you insisted, and—" He let out a laugh that cracked with emotion, loud enough that heads around me turned. It exploded. "We're already at $6 billion. $6 billion. The world narrowed to a pinpoint. $6 billion. The number didn't compute. It floated in front of my eyes like a hallucination. Heat flooded my face. Someone behind me whispered, "Wait, did he just say billion?" Sarah's head snapped toward me, eyes wide as saucers. Michael's voice kept pouring out, impossible to silence. "Finance sites are crashing from traffic. Investors are flooding in from everywhere. Emily, we did it. You're officially the youngest tech billionaire in America, maybe the world." A collective gasp rippled outward. The stadium seemed to tilt on its axis. Phones rose like periscopes, recording every second. Sarah gripped my arm so hard her nails dug in. "Emily," she hissed, voice shaking. Everyone heard that. Literally everyone. And that's when I saw them, my parents pushing determinedly through the crowded aisle toward my row. Dad's face was already set in that familiar storm cloud scowl, with Mom trailing anxiously behind. They thought I was causing some embarrassing scene, drawing attention for all the wrong reasons. They had no idea the rug was about to be yanked out from under them in the most public way imaginable. My phone buzzed again. Sophia, our head of PR. Panic clawed at me, but muscle memory won. I answered, turning slightly away. "Sophia, this is the worst possible." I know you're at graduation," she rushed, words tumbling in a frenzy, "but this is insane. Every major outlet, CNBC, Bloomberg, TechCrunch, they're all demanding interviews. Valuation just ticked past $6.2 billion. Social media is on fire. They're calling you a self-made phenomenon, the new face of tech. We need statements, Emily. This is historic." Her voice carried, more gasps, more phone. Mom and Dad were only 10 feet away now. Dad's eyes narrowed further, lips pressing into a thin line of disapproval. He still thought this was about me acting out. I hung up quickly, hands trembling so badly I nearly dropped the phone. The air around us crackled with electric tension. Whispers swelled into murmurs. Dad reached me first, his voice slicing through the noise like a blade. "Emily Marie Vance," he snapped, using my full name the way he did when I was in deep trouble as a child. "What in God's name is going on here? Why is everyone staring at you like you've lost your mind? We drove 3 hours to support you on your big day, and you're turning it into some kind of circus?" For the first time in my entire life, his anger didn't shrink me. didn't make me want to fold in on myself and apologize for existing, because for the first time he was the one who had no idea what was coming. He kept going, voice rising. "Answer me, young lady. Is this another one of your dramatic distractions? Some campus prank?" Sarah sucked in a sharp breath beside me. The crowd around us leaned in subtly, sensing family drama about to unfold. My phone rang again. "Michael." Dad glared at it like it had personally offended him. "And who keeps blowing up your phone? Another one of those dead-end side gigs?" Something inside me, years of buried hurt, quiet triumphs, unspoken victories, snapped into place. I met his eyes steadily, heart pounding but voice calm. Without a word, I pressed accept and switched to speaker. Michael's voice boomed into the charged silence. "Emily, the board is absolutely losing it. Projections are skyrocketing. That foundation donation you earmarked. We can announce it whenever you're ready. 10% of proceeds, right? The press will eat it up." The hush that followed was deafening. Then a text from Sophia popped up on my screen. In my shock, I accidentally read it aloud in a whisper that carried, "Breaking: Emily Vance confirmed as youngest female tech billionaire ever. Congrats, boss." Dad went deathly pale. The color drained from his face so completely he looked like a ghost. Mom's hand flew to her chest as if her heart had stopped. Around us, the whispers exploded into a roar of excitement. Dad's voice came out thin and cracked. "Emily, what is he talking about?" I held his gaze, letting every suppressed emotion rise to the surface. Hurt, exhaustion, pride, relief. My own voice trembled, but I didn't look away. "You texted me this morning, Dad, and told me I'm on my own and that I shouldn't expect any more help from you or Mom." I paused, letting the words settle like stones in still water. "The truth is, I stopped needing your help a very long time ago." Mom's eyes filled instantly, tears spilling over. Dad looked like someone had punched him in the gut. With hands that still shook, I opened my banking app and scrolled slowly through years of transaction history, anonymous transfers I'd sent home month after month, mortgage supplements, Dad's unexpected medical bills after his heart scare, Mom's car repairs, the emergency fund when the roof leaked. All from me, all in secret. I turned the screen toward them. You paid for all these?" Mom whispered, voice breaking completely. "Every single one," I said quietly, "for 4 years. But I never told you because you both kept saying I'd never make it, that I'd come crawling back, so I just handled it, quietly." Dad stared at the numbers as if they were written in a foreign language. His mouth opened and closed. No words came. Around us, reporters suddenly materialized like sharks scenting blood. Mics thrusting forward, cameras flashing in blinding bursts. Security personnel pushed through the growing crowd. A journalist from CNBC shouted over the noise, "Miss Vance, can you confirm the $6 billion IPO? Are the rumors true?" I looked at my parents, exposed, diminished, utterly lost under the relentless lights, and felt no desire for cruelty, only a bone-deep weariness and finally release. I turned to the microphone and spoke clearly and steadily. "Yes, my company went public this morning. The valuation has already surpassed $6 billion, and yes, I have been completely self-sufficient for many years." The stadium erupted again, louder than before, cheers mixed with gasps of disbelief. Graduates near me started clapping. Dad flinched as if each sound was a physical blow. Security escorted us away from the chaos to a shaded alcove near the stadium entrance. The sudden quiet after the uproar felt almost sacred. Dad collapsed onto a bench, elbows on knees, head bowed. Mom hovered beside him, mascara streaking down her cheeks in black rivers. For the first time in my memory, neither of them looked ready to lecture. They looked broken open. Dad's voice was hoarse when he finally spoke. "Emily, I owe you the biggest apology of my life." He looked up, eyes red-rimmed and raw. "I thought I was protecting you, teaching you to be realistic. I couldn't see that you'd already built something bigger than I ever dreamed possible." Mom reached for my hand, squeezing it desperately. "We were terrified for you, honey, but we were wrong, so wrong. About your passion, your strength, everything. The words didn't magically erase decades of doubt, but they landed softly in the places that had hurt the longest. I felt seen, truly seen, for the first time. "I'm not angry anymore," I said, voice thick. "I'm just tired of proving myself to the people who were supposed to believe in me first. I've been standing alone for so long. I just wanted you to notice." Dad nodded slowly, tears slipping freely now. "We notice now, and we're proud not of the money. God, no. Proud that you never gave up on yourself even when we gave up on your dreams." We sat there in silence for a long moment, the weight of years shifting between us. Not fixed, not perfect, but beginning. And then came the twist, the one that rewrote everything. My phone buzzed one final time, Michael's name again. I almost let it go to voicemail, but something, call it instinct, made me answer on speaker. "Emily," he said, voice hushed with something like reverence. "I wasn't going to drop this today, but legal just finished emergency due diligence for the IPO filings. They found something buried deep in old patent archives." He paused, and I could hear his breath shaking. "Your core algorithm, the breakthrough that powers literally everything we built, it matches a patent application your father filed 25 years ago. He abandoned it back then, called it impossible, a fool's dream, I think the note said. But you, without ever knowing, you picked up the exact same thread and turned it into billions." The world stopped spinning. Dad's head snapped up, his eyes locked on mine, wide with shock. "You didn't just succeed, Emily," Michael continued softly. "You redeemed the dream he gave up on decades ago." I lowered the phone slowly. Dad was trembling, full body trembling. He stared at me like he was seeing me, really seeing me for the very first time. The man who spent my entire life telling me my passions were worthless had just learned that his own buried passion, the one he abandoned in shame, had become a multi-billion-dollar empire through the daughter he never believed in. A broken sound escaped him, half sob, half laugh. He stood on unsteady legs and pulled me into his arms. The first real, fierce hug he'd given me since I was a little girl. His shoulders shook against mine. "Emily," he whispered into my hair, voice raw and wrecked. "I was wrong. About everything. About you. About me. You didn't just save yourself. You saved me too." Mom wrapped her arms around both of us, and for the first time in over a decade, we stood there as a family. Not perfect, not unbroken, but together. Truly together. Under the fading California sun, with the distant roar of the ceremony still echoing, something irreversible healed. Not all the scars, not all the lost years, but enough. Enough to start again. If you've ever risen above the people who doubted you most, if you've ever turned their "you'll never make it" into your fuel, share your story below. Like, share, and subscribe, because sometimes the greatest revenge isn't destruction, it's becoming undeniable. And sometimes the greatest redemption isn't proving them wrong, it's unknowingly proving they were once right about something extraordinary all along.